this is the problem with today. Say you and I had a fight, and some people watching it, then they start talking shit about it, and then it continues. It just continues. But there's no point for that. We've just sorted. We shook hands and see you later. All the best.
One, two, you hear the clock ticking, tick tock. You about to stop living, tick tock. I want you to remember me, tick tock. But the dead don't have no memory. I'm coming. Nobody can stop me, nobody can hold me, nobody control me. I'm coming. I'm here to do my thing. I'm here to bring the pain. I'm never ever gonna change. I'm coming. Nobody can stop me, nobody can hold me, nobody control me. I'm coming. I'm here to do my thing, I'm here to bring the pain, I'm never ever gonna change. Like Tropicana, I got the juice. All for the least, they let the dog loose. Don't make me call up the crew. Now they getting scared, wanna call up a truce. I'm the one like Neo, cocky like Teo.
What's up, people? It is me, it is MVP, and we are here for episode number 12 of the most valuable podcast. And it's valuable because everything that we're going to talk about is just going to be freaking valuable, man. And whether or not you want to use it, that is up to you. You could be a fiapoko if you want. But yeah, man, I'm excited for today's guest, bro. Like, I was just talking to him just before. I remember seeing him back in the Com Games, and then I didn't see him for a while. I know he was still out there doing his thing, and then I recently saw him pop up with some of my usos over in Brisbane, and bro, super pumped. We got the man himself, King Dane Mulivai. Yeah,
all day, Mr. All Day. I think that King Dane name's got to go, but
yeah, we're gonna get rid of that one, or is it already gone? That one?
Yeah, I think I retired King Dane like a year ago. Well, the last time you saw me, King Dane's retired.
Oh yeah. So there's no more King Dane, guys. So how you been, brother?
Excited. Yeah, good. Also, family's taking up all my time. My children, my wife and kids are taking up all my time, and it's just recently now where I've come out and like in the past year, because all the music and all that stuff and everything's come out, and then I kind of had to add my 2 cents too,
Yeah, that's super dope, bro. I'm excited to talk to you, man, because there's so many aspects to you. Like, when I see, obviously there's the fighting, we'll get into that, and then you do music as well, and I think. Well, let's start with the fight, your most recent fight. There was, I think it was when you were making the walk to the ring. I looked on the Instagram story, and Lord Lance had put up a story. He was recording you. You're walking down the stairs, and his caption on the thing was, "This is the walk that nobody, like people say they'll do it, but they'll never actually make this walk." And I was thinking about that. What goes through your mind when you're actually making that walk?
So when I first started, because I've been doing this for over 20 years, right? So now, from when I first started till now, there's a big difference. But normally, you're nervous. You stand there, and that when you go in there, you're going to have a fight.
Yeah.
Because that you're walking into a fight, you're walking in, knowing that someone's going to try and punch your head off. And all these things are running through your mind while you're at the back.
Yeah.
And this was when I first started, but now it's all fun and games now for me. It's no big deal to know that someone else wants to kill me on the other side of this wall. Like, it doesn't bother me anymore because like I'm used to it.
Right.
But the walk, it's 20 meters. That walk is 20 meters.
Yeah.
It honestly feels like a mile, like 10K walk to get to that ring.
Mm.
That's the emotion. That's where the physical draining part comes from, where a lot of people say they feel real fit and all that, but when they get to the ring, they're so exhausted from that walk. Even though it's only small, but it's just mentally draining, man.
Yeah. I was, yeah, because I always want, like, what is the fighter's mindset in that moment? You know, it's pretty interesting that you mentioned that, and obviously you've taken that walk so many times, and part of me feels like, you know, knowing that you're about to walk into a fight and get your head hit, or you're gonna knock out the other dude. Part of me feels like that actually excites you. Now, you know, like,
to be honest, it's been exciting for me ever since, man. Win or lose, like my last fight, for example, I went into that fight underprepared. And that's the first time I've been underprepared. I've always gone into a fight 110% ready.
Right.
Because I know the shortcuts that get taken. I know all that stuff, and you know, when you take shortcuts, you know, it shows. And obviously, you know, with 2 weeks preparation, it's not enough for me. And I think that it played a part in my confidence, like through all the years. Because when I go in super fit, it did not matter who was in front of me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I knew I was ready. I was just ready, man. Man, it honestly, when you're talking about that walk, man, and how you say I've walked it so many times, man. I've walked through many arenas and all that, man. But the vibe, the crowd is exactly the same, regardless if it's 10 people or 1,000 people. It's still the same. Like, the mind is just still running. Like, it's crazy. Honestly, crazy. Also, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's dope to hear your inside, because also, yeah, you took that fight on such short notice, and I think a lot of people didn't even remember that. And what I loved about your fight preparation was, because I was watching you on Instagram, and you're really giving us an inside look into what goes down in a fighter's preparation. Obviously not too much in depth because you didn't have much time to prepare, but I really respected the fact that you were updating us on your weight cut and showing us how difficult it is to be a professional fighter. Because I feel like fighters, like, I obviously have never fought professionally like that, obviously, but I've been following the fight game for a long, long time. It's like one of my favorite things. And I have so much respect for fighters just for going through what they go through, the weight cut. And when I was watching you, I was like, man, I wish people understood like how freaking hard it is to do what they do. And that's why I respect fighters. So I respect you so much. And I love that you were sharing that on your Instagram.
If phones and, you know, Instagram and all that stuff was back when, you know, back, say, like 10 years. See, it's only just become popular now, like, you know, with videos, the stories and all that kind of stuff like that. If it was back when I was in full training and stuff, you know, it would be all documented. And then, you know, I give people, you know, obviously the insight on what it's like. And the reason I did this last one, it wasn't for me to sort of get any, you know, kind of feel sorry for me messages and all that rubbish. It was just to show people exactly what you say, what fighters go through. And then let's just say I go into the fight. Oh, you know, I got stopped in the first round.
Right. And
then people laugh and carry on about that, right? But they don't see what happens behind the scenes before that. So we're training, us fighters train so hard, and it's annoying for me because, you know, when I see people talk smack and comment and all this stuff like that, I'm thinking, man, you know, I would love to just put my hands in your mouth and just slap you, you know, like, because they don't know.
Right.
And it goes for any fighter, man. Anyone that talks rubbish about any fighter, man, like, it's just, you got to understand, you know, we do what we have to do, and it's not easy. And people should respect fighters, regardless of their personality, regardless of them, being cocky or anything like that. Does not matter. You still respect them for what they've done to get into that ring or cage or anything like that, man.
Yeah, 100%. I agree, 100%. Like obviously everybody's gonna have their favorite fighters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when you truly understand, the pain that these guys have to push through, not just physically but mentally too. It's like,
yeah,
and that's just to get yourself to the ring or to the cage. Like I've heard a lot of fighters say that the hardest part is the fight camp, and then the fight is the easy part. Is that true for you?
Man, it's a bit of both those because the fight is more fun. Right. It's fun. So if you're talking that sense, yeah, the fight camp is hard. 13 kilos in 2 weeks.
Crazy, man. That's
like.
Are you trying to kill yourself on Instagram for us? Like,
man,
that's crazy.
At least it would have been. Also, it would have been live, and everyone would have seen it. So, like, if I had passed out, they would have been like, "Hey, Dane's did the back. He's asleep." No one's seen me for weeks and be like, "Yeah, he's been lying in the backyard for all that time." But that's that. Yeah, it's hard. The cut is hard.
When you're cutting that weight, did you have anybody there with you? Because it looked like you were just doing this whole thing by yourself.
I'm in Darwin, and my wife's inside. My kids inside. They're sleeping and stuff. But I know my body well enough to not push it to a point where I'll pass out. Right. Like for example, I'm not in any sauna. I'm not in a sauna. I'm not out running in the 40-degree heat with sweatsuits on at a park, because if I pass out like that, I'm by myself, So I'm aware of all those things, and like I just know, man, I'm close by, like the door. I can just kick the door or something like that. But on that weight loss thing, it was just to even make it more intense.
Right.
I used to train when I was training in Brisbane. I had my brother Brendan. He used to suffer as much as I did. I used to wear the sweatsuit inside the sauna, boxing gloves on, punching pads in the sauna, just to cut weight. Yeah, and he was there with me all the time. We're punching pads. I wish, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we had videos, if Instagram and all these stories were as popular as it is now,
yeah,
people would honestly shake their head and just be like, "Man, this nigga is crazy."
Bro, that is freaking that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it was in the sauna.
I don't think I've ever heard that one before, man.
You know what? I swear to God, it was like we were inside the sauna, trying to slap off the last 4 kilos or 3 kilos. After I've dehydrated, I've done everything I tried to do, and we had to do the last part inside a sauna with pad work in the sauna, bro. Crazy.
That's next level, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was crazy back then. It was crazy because I was not on no diet plan. I never had no sponsors. I never had no backing. So when we train, I had to use money. Like my wife would pay for stuff. Even with my brother, brothers are brothers, but you still got to respect what they're doing for you.
100%.
And I still give him money. I look after him exactly the same way I would look after another person coming into camp. But that's why it's so hard. If you don't have the backing, if you don't have support, and stuff like that,
Yeah, bro. That's crazy, man. Just hearing that, I got even more respect for you. It's insane, bro. Hitting pads in the saunas.
Yeah.
God damn, bro. And
I'll never forget those days.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Like the weight cut, it's always just that last part, that last kg or the point, whatever. That's just freaking the toughest to cut, right?
Oh, I had 1.5 kilos left when I woke up.
Yeah.
So I woke up and it was 6:00. I woke up at 6:00 and I got up. I jumped on the scales. Man, my heart broke. Like, I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Because I was hoping to be under 1 kilo. Like, if it were like 500, 600 grams, it wouldn't be so hard to lose, like within the 5 hours. But it was 1.5 kilos. And then I chucked on the rubbish bag. I think I posted videos of when I was at the park that morning. Solid. And I had absolutely no energy. Nothing. And then after I stopped that video, I went back to my room. I lied down on the floor and I passed out. Like, I fell asleep with my sweatsuit on and everything. Nothing had happened at the park. I just walked to the park and I came back. When I woke up at, a couple of hours later, and then I said to my wife, I go, I'm a kilo over, and she goes, oh, how do you feel? What are you going to do? And I said to her, man, I can do it. I can do it. I started telling myself that. And then she said it to me, said, yeah, you can do it. And that was when I sat straight up. I found the energy, sat up, went down to the gym at the hotel and was on the treadmill. And I fucking made it, man. Fuck. I hate swearing, man, but that there, I made the weight. I made it, man. And that last part, man, I got there. Boom. Damn.
Yeah, bro, that's inspiring, bro. Because I remember,
I told myself. I just told myself, I said, I can do it. I heard my wife echo that, and then bang, I just sat up and went to the gym. No stopping or nothing. Shoes on, went straight in, and then got it done.
Yeah, that was inspiring too. So that's why I love that you were updating us on what you were going through. Because, bro, I was just like sitting there, like, holy frick, like this guy's really going for it, man. And I think that just shows the type of person you are, like, and you mentioned your wife, said you can do it, and then that just gave you that extra kick in the ass to get up and finish the job, and you freaking did it, bro. That's kudos to you, man.
You can ask Ezra James. I had Ezra pick me up, because normally when we go to weigh in, we never drive. Like, I don't drive, they don't drive, and so on. And I took my son with me. This is the first time he's come to a weigh-in and stuff. Like, he was super excited. And with the drive, man, I wanted to spew up. I would. That's the most horrible time from preparation to the fight, is the drive from where you are, whether it be the sauna, wherever you are, on that last cut to the weigh-in. That's another drive there that people don't speak about. That's a horrible drive. That's a drive, especially when you've cut, right? So I'm lying in the back seat, have absolutely no patience. I got nothing. Like, I'm not talking.
Yeah.
I'm just short fused. Like, Ez would say something stupid, and it's funny and that, and I'll be like, "Shut up, man!" Like, I don't feel good, and then they start laughing, and then I'm like, I should have just driven myself. We get to the weigh-in, and then I'm even rude to the media people, because they're there trying to ask you questions. I'm not in the right state yet. Like, ask me after I weigh in, after I have a drink, after and all this, and I try my best not to be as confronting as I used to be. Like, swear at people, like, get lost and blah blah blah. It's still tough, man. Experience or not, it's still hard. That part is hard. And then, but yeah, I made the weight. I can keep going on about this stuff, because it's real. It's really one of those things that, as you say, people don't see. People don't see, man. But if they watch stories and so on, and sort of get, an insight on what happens, maybe then they can respect fighters a lot more, and so on, and not be couch gangsters.
Yeah. Yeah, this is dope, bro. This is dope insight, bro, because, I don't think a lot of people out there fully know the depths that, fighters go to making the weight. So it's really dope to hear you talk about that. And then
just cut.
Yeah, go on.
Cut me off, man. If I talk too much, just cut me off, man.
No, bro, we're good, man. We got time, we got time. And then let's go to the fight. Obviously, you make the walkout to the best track ever. You know,
Hey,
oh, when I heard that, I was like, Jolly, and you mentioned, you had something special for the walkout, and can't make that up, Bulls. Can't make that shit up, man.
There's like 20 reactors on YouTube. Not one has reacted to my song.
Bro, that's including me too.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not even directing that at you. So there's 19.
19.
You know what? It's understandable. But when people like, and I'm not talking to you. Like, I'm talking more to the others that have done many. If you want to be a reactor, you should react to everything, regardless of what's going on. Because I've seen some songs that they've reacted to, and it's rubbish. Like, react to your own people's stuff. Like, like, shucks, Soli Ufa. Who's gonna say that as an intro?
So it's fun. Like, with reacting, like, to me, I'm not. It's not even. I don't even like it, to be honest. Like, I just, because when the pandemic hit, like, I couldn't interview anybody because we were in lockdown. So that's the only reason why I started doing that, because there was nothing else to do, and I needed content for my Instagram. So I hardly do it. Like, if you go through my list, mostly is like just the boys' tracks or
the latest ones.
But I'm hardly, like, I'm not really keen for them, but I just do it because it's fun, But Sole Ufa, like, all these reactors, Ufa. So where you guys been, man? 19 of them.
Oh, and then after that first line, they should just hit stop, and they'll be like, "Yeah, that's enough."
But you walk out to the track, and then I put this on my Instagram story because it was so dope to see, like, you, Lord Lance, like, all you guys together again, because I hadn't seen you guys together like that for a while. It's like, I chuck you guys. I was like, Solo, it's so good to see these Usos back together like this again, man.
We're always together, man. We're just not out in the open, like, as like that. But no, we're always together. Back in Redbank, we all live around like a minute from each other. So and where the shisha shop is, like, we're literally in the same block. So it's but it was good to have them there anyways. Like, that's our normal crew, man.
Yeah.
Even with the old also Sekulo,
he's the man.
Man, that guy he's probably one of the best guys, man. Like, I wouldn't say probably, he is one of the best guys to have around. Not only as a friend, just in general, just to have with you, like, he's kind of like that, like a mediator. Like, you need one of those. He's the balance, he's the balance.
Yeah,
but he's good to have.
Didn't he just receive, like, I can't remember what color belt? I saw it on Facebook.
Man, he got a white belt with the 2 stripes. But the Uso's been doing jiu-jitsu like many years. So when he got double graded like that, I was thinking the same thing that he was thinking. He should have got chucked the blue straight away. Because he's legit. He could be a legit brown, but I think he's just taking the steps to learn, the actual submission names, and all the transitions. Because there's a few things you need to know to name. You can't just go out there and have a roll and then, choke niggas out and then you get your belt. Now you got to know, what kind of choke was that? How did you, prepare it? How did it, and all that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's good to see him in there still training, man. Niggas on the pension as well. Like, we still training.
Yeah, he's a man. I haven't met him yet, but I speak to him sometimes on Facebook, man. He's so humble, so dope.
Yeah.
It's dope to see all those Usos in your corner. And then when I was looking at this fight, I know a little bit more on the fight, and then we'll move on. But when I was looking at that fight, it seemed like they're just trying to build up. What's his face? What's his name? Waterman or something?
Clay Waterman.
Waterman. It felt like whoever was putting this together was like, "Hey, Dane's got a mad resume. You know, one of the dopest fighters we've got. You know, let's try to use him as a stepping stool for Waterman." And then the fight starts and boom, left hook, drop. Boom, another one, drop. And I was like, I think these guys didn't do proper research here, man, because Waterman looking like he's not in this fight at all. And then I was listening to the podcast you did just recently, and you mentioned how you're trying to reserve yourself a little bit because you knew it's a long fight. And you took the fight on short notice, and you went through a grueling weight cut. How accurate is that?
That is 100% spot on. I've had over 100 fights, many fights. Now, if I hurt you, I'm coming in straight away. Yeah, that's what I mean by I was always prepared. He's lucky. I'll put $1 million on that. If I had $1 million cash, I would say he's lucky, and it'll flip over and say, yeah, he's lucky. And that's not me trying to sound cocky or nothing like that. Nah, but I was a good finisher. So if I'd hurt you, 100%. Man, my hand's getting raised, you know. But after that second drop, because I knew I had hurt him, and then, you know, mentally, like in my mind, while I was standing there, I was thinking, man, like stay down, because like I didn't want to, you know, over punch. I didn't want to blow myself out, as I've said recent. And then unfortunately he recovered. And the only reason why he recovered, he was fit. If he wasn't fit, if he wasn't prepared, he wouldn't have been able to take that last left hook, because that landed flush, that last one. And you could see in his face, like his mouth, around the mouth and nose, it was red. So I hit him properly, like it caught him well. He recovered, and then I got caught. And if I stay on this topic, when I stood up, I looked at the ref, I said, I'm good. And I just continued to walk just to shake my head out, to clear it out. And then he's waved it off. Now, when he waved it off, if everyone can go and watch this again, I just stood there, and I was like, I look over at Waterman, and I like, you know, I was like, fucking, oh, you're lucky. And then I just walked off, shook it, like gave him a hug and walked back to my corner. I couldn't believe it. And then you got Lance.
Man, I could hear him. I could hear him. The screen, you know, you can't see him, but it's all I could hear his voice.
Yeah. He's going off. Man, and I knew that was going to happen. I knew, you know, Clay Waterman is part of that promotion. And I'll say it on here, and this will be the only place I'll say it. I do believe that that fight was rigged. I'll say it on here, and this is not me as a sore loser or anything like that. No. Mm-hmm. I believe that it was rigged. You know, I believe that I should have been given the benefit of the doubt. I'm a veteran, man. I'm not 100%. No amateur. I'm a veteran. They should have let the fight continue. There was only 4 seconds left of the round. The ref knew
exactly that. My point I was going to bring up.
The ref knew. Well, why let the fight go to the bell? Come out for the second round. So them waving it off. You know, they saved Clay. You know, he's the money maker of that promotion. And you know what happens if the Golden Boy gets beaten by a pensioner? You know.
Right, yeah, that's the other aspect of the fight too. You're like 36 years old right now, right?
36, yeah.
That's the other thing, bro. I'm like 2 weeks notice, grueling weight cut, 36 years old. Like he had all the advantages, you know, pointing his direction. And then when he got dropped twice early on, I was like, boy, they made a freaking mistake, man. And then yeah, like he got that knockdown on you, but then what makes no sense to me is the fact that there were like 3-4 seconds left of that round, and it was like and it's not like you got up straight away. It's not like you were down for a little bit. You got up straight away and turned and faced and ready to go. At least let the 4 seconds play out and then come back out for the second round. It makes no sense to me. So I totally understand where you're coming from. I don't think you're coming from a place as a sore loser, because I think if people know you, they know that's not who you are.
Yeah, also, as long as it doesn't come across like that, because I don't want people to hit up the comments and say, sore loser and this like that. Nah. I've taken the loss and hoping to get that rematch, but they've opted to go with somebody else.
Oh, they don't want to see you again, bro.
Not with 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, that's right. But I haven't stopped training since I've come back. So I'll be ready because I know the next fights that are coming up is at the end of November.
Yeah.
So ain't no nigga gonna catch me off guard this time. Like, I'm still in motion. I'm letting the ball roll still,
That's dope. So you got the fire back, huh? Because you've been out for a while. So, and that's the other thing too about this fight. You hadn't fought for a long, long time. And like a lot of people, when they come back off a layoff like that, they call it ring rust or whatever it is. You didn't look like you had that. Like you just looked like you're just back to work as usual,
It was normal. It was normal, and a lot of no one knows this actually. I'll say it again here. I'll say it first here. For the first 10 seconds, like I didn't find my feet, and there was it just felt weird. Like I over jabbed. I was like, my feet weren't under me. But after I got punched, then I was like, oh, there we are. Like I'm okay. Like I then felt normal. I felt okay. Like it took a couple seconds, but once I did, I was just back at home again. It was just back at home. It was good.
It felt familiar, eh? Like boom. Okay, there we go. We got it now. Yeah.
And that's how it was.
Yeah. All right. Last thing about fighting, then I'll move on to other stuff. I remember when you first started training with Ezra James and Lord Lance, I think you mentioned that they came to a class of yours. Is that right?
Yeah, man.
And then you said that you noticed that they actually had heart. And I love that you said that because knowing those Usos, that's what they're all about. They got mad heart, and to me, a true definition of loyalty and Usos. And I just want to talk about when you guys first started, because when you guys like training like outside, like you guys just made your own kind of like gym and stuff.
Oh, do you want me to start from that? Like
only because I think it's interesting because a lot of people complain about, oh, I can't work out because I can't get a gym membership. I can't afford a gym membership. I can't do this. I can't go here. But then when I see you guys doing your thing, I'm just like, what's everybody's excuses? Like these Usos really just out here making it happen with what they got.
I made the Commonwealth Games training out of my garage.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah. When I decided I was going to make the games, I was having a drink with one of the boys. Shout out to Wonga and Alex Tofili. We're having a drink this one night in the garage, and we're having a little laugh. And I said, "Sole, I'm gonna go to the Commonwealth Games, bro." And then it was a joke of the night, like. And then I started training in the garage. I never came from anything where there was money. I never had new running shoes. I just never had none of that stuff. So I was mentally strong at that point to be able to use what I had. And then from the garage, I went to Inala PCYC, and I trained with Russell Finn, and that from Inala PCYC, it was like training in my garage, exactly the same. You know, that's the ghetto, you know, like in Inala. And so once all that Commonwealth Games, once all that boxing had finished and I turned pro, I was training out of my garage. And that's how it all began, training at the park. And then I got picked up to be an instructor at a gym. And then from there, Jungle Squad had formed. That's where Jungle Squad formed. I saw Lance at the shopping center. I think he just come back from his mission and stuff like that. Like, and he called out to me, and I look over, and I was like, he's talking to me, and I had no idea who he was. But I recognized his face. This is the full story from the start. And then they found out that I was training in Springfield, and they said they were going to come down. I said, no worries, come down. The time they came down, I was in preparation for the Australian boxing title. So I was in training mode. So when I talk about heart, when I talk about them having the ticker, a few boys come and train. I put them through some heavy rounds. They don't come back. Lance and Ez, they're my brothers, they come down and they came back. And so like, they kept coming back, and I was just like, these niggas are coming back. You know, before the training and stuff. I won't go into full detail, but I can tell you, I put them through some heavy rounds, and they came back. And then ever since then, man, when we used to train in car parks, when we would train everywhere, just to make sure that we were training, you know, we would train at the park. We didn't have to pay for the park. We had no money to go pay for a gym. I don't want to pay $10 to go to a gym. You know, $10 is $10, man. But you know, we would train at the park, and when we were doing it in the open, everyone used to watch. We would train at footy parks.
Yeah.
You name it, man. So when people do, when you're saying like, you know, excuses about gyms and stuff like that, you're just not mentally strong enough to go and train. You might as well just stay home and go and study, get a degree in something instead of trying to be a fighter or trying to go on that path, because you're not going to make it. And that's how us boys formed this bond that we have, and ever since then, the training in the park mentality is still the same.
Yeah, I see those boys hitting pads in the garage still, like.
Yeah, man, still the same. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed.
Nah, that's dope, bro. Let's move on to something else. I'm actually interested to talk to you about this. I'm not going to ask you details about it, but the principle behind it is what I loved. You recently put out Instagram post. You had an issue with somebody. You had a little one-outs. Nobody knew about it. And then you shared it on your Instagram story. I don't care about the details of what actually happened or who won. You mentioned you're not even that doesn't matter. Like you said, the result doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I guess, why did you feel it was important to kind of put that out there for everybody to see?
First, I wanted to, for all the shit talkers, and there was many of you dogs talking rubbish when I left Brisbane, saying, "Oh, I was a dog for releasing that track from Darwin," right?
Right.
And then I wanted to walk my talk. Like I'll start on that part, and then because I came back to Brisbane as Brisbane's most wanted. I came back to Brisbane. I walked around, and you know the funny thing is, the same people talking shit, bro. They seen me, but they kept walking.
Crazy.
The same people talking rubbish, and I had no issue with anybody, apart from the individual that Chris. And so after our little meeting, we had a laugh and it was just funny like that, like how we had a laugh and had a talk. And then I said, let's take a photo. I'm going to post a photo of us. And you know what? He didn't say no. He didn't say anything like that, man. He come and put his arm around me. We took a photo. And I posted that up to show that from the months and months of build-up from everyone talking rubbish, it was sorted. And then everyone should just stop talking shit now and just focus on their own lives without trying to feed the fire. You know, it was sorted. And now finally it's subsided and everyone's just shut their mouth now. You know, and that's not me trying to talk hard or anything like that, but this is the problem with today. You know, say you and I had a fight and some people watching it, then they start talking shit about it. And then it continues, you know, it just continues. But there's no point for that. We've just sorted, we shook hands and see you later, you know, like all the best. And so, you know, me and Chris, we're secchi now. We're all sweet, you know, like we sorted it out. And, you know, I just had to do it, man. And it proved my point to a degree that everyone just trying to feed something it's not necessary. It's got nothing to do with you. Like, It's got nothing to do with you, man. Like, go get your mouth stitched up so you can stop talking. You know, and that stuff like that, it gets me worked up. You know, obviously you can tell, like, you know, like the way I'm talking now, because this is how drama begins and it continues.
Right.
And so, like, I had to post that up, man, just to show, you know, there's nothing but love after it, and it was sorted, man. Yeah. And people should just, yeah.
Yeah, no, bro, I love that came out because it showed people how to deal with situations like this. You know, you do it properly. Like nowadays, obviously, there's a lot of our young Polynesians that are, you know, getting killed by getting stabbed and all these kinds of things, all these 10-on-1s, 15-on-1s, and you know, the issues with one person, and then another person will bring somebody else, and it just turns real ugly, man. And I respected that post because, you know, you're just telling people, hey, if you got a problem with someone, if you really want to sort it out, have a one-on-one, and then after it's done, it's done. Everybody moves on. We don't have to talk about it. We don't even care who won. The fact is that both guys stepped up the plate to sort it out, and that's that.
That's right. That's right. There was only 4 of us there. There was no need for. There was just no need for anyone to know. There is absolutely no need for anybody to know what happened. But the main thing is that everyone should see exactly what you're saying. That's how you deal with drama. See, we're both old. We're not like in our 20s, you know.
Yeah.
We got families and stuff like that, you know. And if there's any way, you know, I wasn't trying to promote violence or anything like that, man, but just trying to just to show the kids that there is a better way. You fight today, you lose, you wake up tomorrow. And just keeping it old school like that, man.
Yeah, no, that's sicky, bro. Yeah, appreciate that post. I read an article of yours, you know, after just doing a little bit of research, you know, just investigations or like
So
no, there's an article that I read that I thought was pretty interesting. I wanted to see if you would elaborate a little bit on it. The term king hit, right? That's a term that everybody uses now. And you mentioned in that article that you actually didn't like that term, and it should just be called the coward punch. Yeah. Why? Can you explain why that is?
Man, you know, the king, right? A king's at the top.
Right.
The king is the lion, right? The lion doesn't attack you from behind. The lion will attack you from the front. The king will walk with his shield and fight you from the front. And because that was my nickname, you know, that's I know the article you're talking about. I was in the paper for that. And it's 100% a coward's punch. You're a dog. You know, that's how I was punched. I got punched like that at work while I was working, and you know, like the penalties. I'm lucky to be alive. And it shouldn't be called a king hit, because king hit, you're glorifying the punch.
100%.
Because king is a title. It's a title. But a coward punch, it really describes it the best. And that's why I didn't like it, man.
Yeah, I think that was the explanation that I loved, that I wanted everybody to hear, because one, shouldn't be doing that in the first place. That's, even as Polynesians, like, that's not what we do, man. Like, we've never been about that. And then just for people to still call it a king hit, yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. So I love the explanation. That's why I wanted to bring that up so everyone could hear that.
Man, it's so bad. And the risks, man, people should really, really think about it. Like, you hit someone when they're not looking, man, they could die. And then once they die, your life is over as well. So really, really think about it, man, before you do that.
Yeah. Let's think about it, guys. Stop being, don't be that guy. Yeah, because, like, not even your life is over, but then it affects your families, the victims' families, and it just gets so ugly, bro, because there's just so many people that are affected by it. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. You've been through a lot, bro. Like, when I listened to the most recent podcast, and then just stuff that I've heard from Ez and Lord Lance, like, and we can, like, just by looking at you, like, or even just hearing you talk for like 2 minutes, like, I can sense that. What I love about that is that when I see you now on Instagram, you're really trying to pass on a positive message for our young people. And the fact that you've been through what you've been through makes me want to listen to you, because the last person I want to get advice from about something, if it's someone that's never gone through anything that I've gone through, I don't want to hear it, right? But if I'm walking the steps that you have already walked, that's the guy I want to listen to, like, for advice, and hear his experiences and what he's gone through, what he did, that could help me make better decisions in these situations. I feel like it's your experiences that can really help our Polynesian people, our young ones coming up. Do you notice that for yourself, like, when you're sharing your thoughts and stuff on social media?
I do. But the problem, I wouldn't say it's a problem, because perception plays a big key in people's lives. I know that's a bit off the path on what you're talking about, but I'll just go into this first, because a lot of people that don't know me would judge me based on what other people say, whether it be a good experience or a bad experience. And unless you come and talk to me direct, you're not going to know who the Dane is. You're not going to know who I am. So when I say with the perception, it's probably one of the downfalls of people's lives, because then they're not really opening up their mind to being able to understand and learn on certain topics, or and on what you're saying with experience, man. When you talk about going through a lot, man, I've got like books and books and books of things I've gone through. And I know the path, and I know the steps that people do take, and I tend to try and say things to them, but not directly, but around for them to think for themselves, and hope that they hear it. You know what I mean? It's like, and hope that they pick up on it and be like, oh shucks, yeah, Dane's right. I don't need to hear that from anyone. I don't need the praise. I don't need any of that. But if it does pick up, a youth, pick up a person, I've done my job. I've done my job, man. And maybe that's the calling from God that was given to me, to share, not in full detail of stuff that I've gone through, but to try share something that's going to stop you from continuing on that path you're going.
Yeah.
But like I get full into like a talk. If I'm up there standing and speaking in front of children, speaking in front of people, like my emotions get the better of me sometimes, as in, you know how you go up and down. I'm up and down in certain parts of my talk, but it affects me sometimes too. Like emotionally affects me, because I don't like to see any other one or any other person go through what I've gone through.
Right.
And it's deep. That stuff there is super deep. I've had man, I've gone to psychs. I've spoken to psychologists, psychiatrists, and all that stuff, man. But there's so much that needs to be heard. And as I always say, man, if I can get one person to listen, that's the one person that I'll save.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, that's a second mentality to have, because like like even me, like the reason why I started doing my whole social media is the same thing. Is like when I looked around, I think it was one day I was scrolling on social media and I was wondering, why isn't there enough of our people using their platforms to try and help our younger ones coming up? I see a lot of our Polynesian people, they're doing music, awesome, and that's one way for them to reach out to people. But the majority of our people they're all like those comedian dudes, those funny dudes who do skits and stuff online. And it's dope. Like, I love it. I follow all of them. I laugh at all the stuff that they do. But there's not enough of people using their platforms to, kind of spread a good message. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that's why I love seeing you do what you're doing. And I'm on the same mentality too. It's like, you can have all these followers, but I'm just interested that at least one person, gets the message.
And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. To save one is to save better than none. Before I did so I didn't accept people on my Instagram. So I had like 3,000 pending.
For ages.
Sorry, I had like it was pending.
Wait, tell it. Yeah. Actually, because I remember one time, I think you just left Brisbane to get to Darwin, eh? And you mentioned there's something like, I don't care if you're boys with Lord Lance and Ezra James, like just because you're tight with them doesn't mean that you and I have this relationship or something like that. And then I was like, should I cancel my request now or?
No, it was, there was just this one night, and one of the guys, I don't know who this person was, and he started banging out jokes to me, like, and I got a short fuse. It was like, and I'm just like, I'm looking at him thinking, man, you say one more thing, man, I'm gonna smack you, like. But then I had to remember that he was only a kid. I'm old. Like, I just had to remember he was a kid, and it was just the way that I was taking things. That's why I posted that up, and I was like, man, you can talk to whoever. Like, I'm not your friend like that. Don't talk to me like that. Don't call me names. You don't know me. Like,
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was. That was all. But I had all these people pending, especially after Big Cash and all that.
Oh, they all wanted to say.
Yeah, it was. But before I added everybody, I took all my family pictures off on my Instagram. My Instagram used to be just all my kids, but I took it all off because that's more personal for me. Like,
yeah. And
I don't want, because there's people I don't know who they are. They're looking at my family pictures, so I'm always looking at. I'm at that safety kind of thing too, So it's just now that it's just come out like that. But before I added everybody, I used to talk a lot about jail stories. I used to do, like, I wouldn't say podcasts, but I used to do little videos recording me telling stories of things that happen inside. And same thing again, giving people that live on this side a look on what it's like on the inside.
Mm.
And sort of usually the interest, man, I had everybody watching my stories. Like, everyone was watching it, man. But I'm speaking truth, like, and the way I was delivering the message, it was like me telling the actual story for people to feel like they were there.
Yeah.
It was pretty gangster like that, you know. But yeah, sorry, I'm just drifting off on this subject. But it's now, you know, I got to be careful on how I speak. But it's not even me being careful. I'm just talking how I talk, and you know, I know a lot of people that are on my Instagram now. They can relate to what I say.
Yeah.
And they know that there's no bullshit with me. It's just straight down the line. But always trying to spread that positivity. And you know, that's what we're supposed to do also.
Yeah, and no, it's good because, you know, like I was saying, you're obviously you're a public figure. People know who you are, and so people are just going to gravitate towards you, you know. And what would you, if you were to say, there's a young Polynesian kid right now who's worried about what people think of him, and I feel like that's a lot of our problems, right? Our young kids are trying to impress people, and they want to, because I feel like Polynesians, especially like when we're growing up, everybody else looks up to that's the guy, that's the freaking man. Then they try to get him to do all the dirty work, and the Polynesian dude's loving the attention, and it's like, where everyone looks at me like I'm the man, and then they try to uphold this thing. But then that's like the beginning of, like, you know, going down the wrong path. You know, I know our parents have never, Polynesian parents, I know for a fact, has never taught, you know, us to go off the rails like that and do stupid stuff like that. What advice would you give to that young Polynesian kid who's probably teetering on whether or not, you know, close to like going off the rails and doing a lot of stupid things, and you know, listening to his parents? What kind of advice would you give to that person?
Your parents know what they're speaking about. So if there's a person, a youth, a young person listening to this, your parents know what they're speaking about. Even though, you know, you may think that they're just, you know, being fiapokos and stuff like that, which is a normal response. And I say it because that's what I used to think. And that, you know, the hard yards that they put in for you to be where you are today must be respected. Must be respected. You know, going to church, getting up, going to work, and for yourself to go to school and stuff like that. And everything that you're going to decide, if you're going to do something bad, everything that your parents have done for you is just down the drain. You've just wasted the struggle. You've wasted the kinga inga of your parents for that one silly mistake. And then, and at the end of the day, man, everyone that's feeding you, they're not really your friends. Everyone that's pushing you to go, you know, to bash this person, everyone pushing you to go steal this, they're not your friends, man. Because your friends, if they were your friends, they wouldn't be telling you to do that.
Mm.
And the circle that you hang around is very important. Man, you are who you hang around, man. So if you want to hang around gronks and that, you're going to be a gronk.
Right.
But and you know what? My only advice is just listen to your parents. And I did a video yesterday because I was thinking about my family, and I see my dad and so on. They're getting old, and we live in Darwin. My wife's mum and dad, she's getting old as well, you know. And seeing them age, once your parents, you only have one set. You only got one mum, one dad. Once they go, you have no more. There's no more mum and dad. Who are you going to call mum and dad now? Mm-hmm. That's why I said to everybody, do everything that your parents say, man, before it's too late. regardless, if you don't like what they're saying, do it anyway, man. Yeah, and I hate seeing our people, the youth and that disrespect their parents. And I know that there's plenty of yous out there that do that. But really, really should think about the struggle they went through, man, before you, throw your life away. Make something of your life, man, while they're still here. Yeah, all day.
Bro, that's dope as heck, man. Like, that's deep too. And I mean, I think what you said, because we always we always act up. I think we all act up as part of it. But then, when we get older, like you're saying, we look back and we're like, bro, mom and dad were like, they were legit telling us the right things, bro. But we're too stubborn or too boko, wanting to be tumimika for everybody else, that we didn't even bother to listen to the people that we claim we love the most, Yeah.
Stop being FIFA gang, man, and concentrate on your school, man.
100%, bro. That's too much of those.
Shucks. But it's sad. It's really sad also. To see our parents, when they get older and older, and then you wake up and they're gone. It's a hard pill to swallow. Like death. It never gets easy. You go to many funerals. You see death all your life. But each time it happens, the same emotions that you felt for the first one you had is still the same. Doesn't change, man. So, we should really, really, really do things for our parents while they're still here.
Yeah, I appreciate that advice, bro. And I saw you posted on your Instagram too. It was like a little cartoonish video type thing. And you were like, if this doesn't, something about, I'm paraphrasing, but if this doesn't touch you, then unfollow me now. And when you said that, I was like, that's how I know that this is something you are actually serious about, you care about, and a message that you want everybody to care about. Because, bro, every day that comes, or every day that goes, is another day that our parents are getting older. And how many more days of this do they have? I mean, we never even, like, something might happen tomorrow. Like, we don't know that, but you're 100% on it, bro. Like, our parents are getting older and older, and the chances for us to do good for them are getting less and less. And so it's important that we get onto it now while they're still here.
It makes me sad also. It makes me sad. Like, I could be like who I am, but it still touches my heart, man, all the time. Like, all the time. Yeah. It's a tough one, also.
It's a tough one too, man. And just even you talking about it now, bro, it's like, obviously we weren't really alive, or we were just little kids when our parents were making sacrifices for us, so we didn't really see how hard and how tough it was for them, back then. And I know a lot of the excuses we hear nowadays is like, oh, our parents are too old, they don't understand, this is a new era, this is a new generation, which I think is bullcrap. Obviously it's new. It's a different time, to when they were young and coming up. But a lot of the stuff that they're telling us still rings true, bro. Like,
it's stupid when people say that. I tell people to shut up, Sully.
Yeah,
like straight. Like, if I hear people say, I'd say, hey, shut your mouth, man. The mentality has to be the same. The struggle, right? We should know, because you get paid, like, say, $700 a week, right? After you pay your bills, after you pay your child support, after you pay all that stuff, you only have $100 left for the week. Now, when you're talking about the money from back then till here, from here, back in them days and here, it's exactly the same. The only difference is we have mobile phones, we got iPads and all that stuff like that. So people who say that, man, you deserve to be slapped again.
Yeah. Handing out a lot of slaps.
Slaps is needed. Slaps are needed for today's generation. To slap some sense into the generation today.
Yeah.
Now me being a father myself, being a father myself now, I'm saying it like I'm just now. My son's 10 years old. So
Is that your oldest?
Yeah, my son's 10, my daughter's 8, and my baby, she's 2. Being a father, now I see the struggle that my dad had gone through, because you always try and make sure that your kids eat first. My kids sleep on the bed, I sleep on the floor. If it's cold, they have the blanket. I don't have a blanket. Maybe this is just the way that I was raised and what I've seen for me to do the same for my children.
Yeah.
So I understand, and I'll speak for myself. I won't speak for anybody else. I understand the struggle. I appreciate the struggle that they went through, man. And, for what they went through, I'm forever grateful. Yeah. Both my dad and my grandparents, all day.
Right, that's respect, man. Appreciate you for sharing that too. Just a couple more things, and then I'll let you get back onto your day. But back to the circle of friends. I think that's so key, bro. I think that's I'll tell you right now, my circle of friends is I don't really. I've never honestly. Look, I'm not even gonna bring it up, but if, like you're saying, if you're gonna hang around people who do certain things, that's what you're gonna end up, right? Why is that so difficult for people to understand? People don't get that simple concept. People say you can't judge people, don't judge people, and I agree with that. Don't judge people, but we judge people all the time. I'm not going to hang around that person because that person does this. I'm going to hang around this person because he does this, So we are making judgments, but I understand don't judge a person. I get that point. But I find it so hard that when you look around your circle and that the stuff that your circle is doing isn't going to be good for you and your life, why do we still stay in that circle? It's difficult for them to get out. Why is that?
Comfortable. They're comfortable. They're in a comfort zone.
Right.
They refuse to step out. That's all they know, and stuff like that, So once they step out of that environment and go into something different that they're not used to, they backpedal, and they and I'll say the word, people get afraid, because they don't like change.
Right.
It's this one here. This one is super toughos. See me, I think it's best that I'll just speak on my experience for myself. Right. I'll speak on me, right? Because that way people don't think that I'm pointing the finger at anybody for them to start talking rubbish. So, my dad used to say that to me a lot too. You get used to hearing it at home, don't go over there, stay away from this person. But you've grown up with them. That's you, Maybe that plays a part for us as Islanders, right? If we were not just keeping to ourselves, if we were to mix, just go at a mix. I'm not going to say interracial relationships or anything like that. It's more just knowing that there's more out there than what you're receiving in that circle. And the worst part is we get stuck in that comfort zone and then we stay. So whatever your mate does, you're going to do the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you play Fortnite, I'm going to play Fortnite.
Right.
And that's your circle of friends that you grow up with, and you stay with them for the rest of your life. And when you're talking about bad people, this is when you get a bit older. As you get older, these are the choices where the circle of friends you choose really does show who you are. When you're 15, 16, 17, 18, going up, the circle of friends you choose then is very important in the path that you're going to walk for the rest of your life. And I speak on my experience. I was with a group of friends at that age where I was like, on that violent run, and it became second nature. And then I had another group of friends that were like, they're going to university and all that other stuff like that. But I was more interested in this. And so that when you say the choice of friends, I mean, when I say the choice of friends, it shows who you are. That is 100% true. 100% true. But you can't put one foot in this side and one foot in the other side, which is a big mistake.
Can't serve two masters.
Because you cannot sell it. You can't be a bad cunt during the week and then you go to church on Sunday and take the whamogua and that on Sunday. But you just done all that stuff during the week,
Yeah.
But I was doing that. And I suffered. I learned the hard way. And it's and as you say, me, I never had many friends. Looking back now, I never had many friends because they're the same people that were telling me, go stab him, go shoot him, go do all this bad stuff. They weren't friends.
Yeah.
My friends were the ones that were, and I'm not going to say church, but they were all my mates that were at church, trying to get me to go to the youth, try and get me to go to MIA, go to all the youth activities. But instead, I was just going in the wrong way, going the wrong direction, and that's something that where both you and I and other people that have a voice should really be speaking on, and helping the youth there in directing them the right way, and just constantly reminding. It's more just reminders. Not telling them, but just reminders. Constantly be that voice, just to be reminding them of the consequences of your actions, and you can't choose that. And so on else.
No, that's dope.
Sorry, like I said, just cut me off if I'm talking too much, because I can go on and on and on, Sorry.
Oh, you're dropping gems.
Also, it's personal. It's real personal for me. Anytime I speak, I try and speak so that I don't come across as someone that's arrogant. I don't come across as somebody that's being prideful. No. I'm speaking from ground level, man.
Yeah.
Ground level. Barefoot, walking to school barefoot. That level. And everyone can relate to me. And I hope everyone relates to me.
No. It's good to hear, bro. Like these are things that people need to hear, man. And it's tough to get out, but if you're in a bad circle, the best thing you can do for yourself is to get out, and you just got to find the balls and the courage to actually do it, And so if you're listening, if you look around, I guess just look around your circle, man, and if you don't like what you see, get the fuck out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and if you're listening and you're having issues, message me, man. Send me a message.
That about you, bro.
Man, message me. I can almost guarantee that I've been through what you're going through. With full confidence in saying that. So you're not alone. You're never alone. The dark times, as I said in my last one, the dark times they don't last. They don't last. You just got to get through it, man. And once you do, all day you'll be seki.
Yeah, that's sekius. And yeah, I think if you're going through something, I think the first thing you should know is that you're going through it because you can overcome it. I don't think people are given issues they can't overcome. So if it's there, so I'm in.
Like the also Nazio, fight back.
Have hope, fight back.
Have hope. Fight back.
Oh,
But yeah, also, thanks heaps for putting me on. You know, a quick shout out also to my also Fraser Utai. He just got out of isolation there in Brisbane. They were in Melbourne. He was in Melbourne, so he just got out. His family just got out. He's the producer of the infamous Can't Make This Up, DJ Sketch. You know, to his brothers too. Also, they're also Forever Band. You know, like I said, man, we're musicians. It runs in the blood, man. That's the Shiumu blood. You know, and to, you know, Lord Lance, Ice Fam, Ezra James, my brothers, all day. Thanks for putting me on, Us. I appreciate it a lot, man. Hey, and I love everybody. I love everyone. So don't be pointing the finger at me, man. Sorry, I just closed your show.
Yeah, just forget about this last segment I was about to do. It was just.
Sorry. Oh, shucks. Yeah, that's right. Hit rewind.
Tolo, there's three. I'll give you three of the questions that were sent in, and then we'll let you get out of here.
Sorry, man.
No.
Sorry.
Nah, you're good. You're good. All right. First question is top 3 boxers of all time.
Roy Jones Jr., Sugar Ray Leonard, and Sugar Ray Robinson.
Oh, solid 3. Second question is, when did you learn how to speak Samoan, or did you know from a young age?
Man, wash or live, I said.
Tamiki kwai ole mea ari uso.
Ole mea ari ufo sore. Man, you know how it is at home. I was raised with my grandparents, so you become used to it. But once you stop talking, you know, and that's a tip. That's just a quick one on that one. A tip for everybody. And then you'll be, you know, you're used to it. You become used to it. And yeah, the main word is don't be fear poko, bro.
Stop learning the swear words first, eh?
Yeah, cut that out, guys.
All right, last one is of all your fights that you've had throughout your whole career, which one stands out to you the most, or the memorable one?
When I fought Vedat H for the A1 world title. I had 10 kickboxing fights at the time, and he was just an unstoppable machine. I took the challenge. We went 5 rounds. We fought for the 5 rounds. You know, I got dropped. I got up. It's an awesome fight to watch. It was an awesome fight to be in. So, you know, Vedat H, if you guys are out there wanting to know which fight it was, type it up on YouTube, Vedat H versus Dane, and you guys can see 5 rounds of just brutal punishment. But it was fun.
Sicky. All right, let's close this off properly now, eh?
So everyone's gonna be like, man, that Dane's a fear poko, I swear, sorry.
Oh, my man Dane, bro, it's been a pleasure having you on, man. Thank you for sharing everything that you shared with us. I just want to apologize also for pressing up that picture with the one belt.
You know what, Us? You're lucky you're in Melbourne, Us. I can't come to Melbourne yet, so once I get to Melbourne, I'm gonna come see you.
Even when you get here, it's only a bit of an isolation period, so you're gonna have to wait even longer when you land, Us.
Man, I'll just train up for those 2 weeks. It's all good.
Honestly, thanks for being open and willing to share your experiences with us. Bro, it's been a mean chat, mean listen to you, bro. Definitely a lot of things that you said that even for me, I can use and improve myself. And bro, we look forward to seeing what lies ahead in the future for you. There's another fight coming up for you, man. We look forward to seeing that, supporting you. Any more music coming out, we're looking forward to that. Reactors, make sure you get on the reaction, man. Stop being sad.
Stop being pussies.
So I think when they were gonna react, they heard the first part. So they're like, yeah, nah. If we say something bad about this guy's track when we react to, he's gonna come fussy us, man.
So they should. I hope someone reacts to it, man.
So remember that time when you ran your mouth and lips were talking shit? I was banging on the door and you rang the cops, you dog, you fake ass bitch. But that's normal, and I'm used to it. Heaps talk, but you never ever walk. If I get the chance, eyes closed on your back, somebody bring out the chalk. I lead over the gang and not about that life, and you know, cause you have no heart. Hey, you at the top with no straps on your back, from the ground is where you start. Yeah, I'm ready, so let's do it. In this jungle, you're rat, not a fighter. I know strap black and gold, you're pussy. No, that's what it's fucking tiger. I know dog had heart, it was cold, but he knew that mine was colder. Up and down on the street, I rocked up on my own whereabouts, I was on biota. I get the time in the day, say sweet. I was waiting and it never showed up. Put your tail between your legs and just stay hot, you gutless fuck. In the history book, it's all written. Have a read so you know my name. I was about that life, you wanna test me? Come across into my lane. I got a book full of stories with some facts that'll make you sick, you can trust on that. OG certified, I'm stamped. Red Bank is where I'm at.
There's some shit you can't make up.
You can't call my bluff. All these fucks when I act all tough, but never ever once have they dealt blood. There's some shit you can't make up. You can't call my bluff. All these fucks when I act all tough, but never ever once have they dealt blood. Why you talking hard on the gram, going hard like the man who has some form? When shit kicked off for a warrior, you stay clear and away from the storm. They watching me, your words. You said it was Task Force Raptor, just to find out later he was talking shit. He was just a real good actor. Now it's up to you. Hey, take it, let me know about your feelings. I don't really give a fuck, cause I know that it's told you a walking snake on the low, you sneaky cunt. I'll walk alone, I always have. I put my back up against the wall, but don't try me. Jungle Squad will show with the 100 if I make that call. Now we different, and you know that. You can't swim in the